Good evening, everyone. Hello, Tim. Yes, this is just a test. Hold on to your hats. No David as of yet, but hopefully he'll get on at some point.
I was going to say, there's a wild fucking surprise.
Got audio,
Me and technology.
Everybody can hear him, but nobody can see him. The voice in the ether.
It's the way I like it to be.
Fucking ASMR hobby with David. What are we up to? David's been spending money, haven't you, David? Been on a bit of a spending spree.
Yes, I am significantly lighter now, considering I pre-ordered something on Saturday morning when it was being retailed on Saturday and went live. So, yeah, that's a thing.
Okay. Tim's just gone onto his secret identity. He's
dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Tim, he's gone to his alternate ident. Oh no, now he's back. Oh dear.
Our survey says I now have video, sir, so people at home can see me if they want to.
Okay, let me just check. I still haven't got you in Discord, but you've just sent. Have you sent me video?
Facebook video link.
I've just shut that down, so I just need to start that up. Tim's put money. What's that? Yeah. Tell me about it, Tim.
Never a true word spoken, Tim.
Yeah.
Never a true word spoken.
I'm having a tough month because obviously my COVID, not COVID, meant that I took some sick off last month, and obviously that's impacted my wages this month. Just in time for UK Games Expo at the end of the month. So
just what you want. Just what you wanted.
It's almost perfectly planned. But you know, what the hell can I do?
There we go. Happy days. We're working. We're live. People can see my face, my wet hair, and everything.
Well, they can't because I haven't set it up.
Oh, because you're an incompetent fool and you still haven't sorted me out yet.
Right.
Is that the case?
That's that.
I'm moving shinies nearer the camera.
Do I have... Now, the problem is we changed all this around. So I'm going to move to this shot because this is the only shot currently where we can see David. So there we go. So this does two things. Number one, it allows us to see David. And number two, it allows us to see what we're going to be doing tonight. Because David bought... What was it, David, you went shopping for?
I like the look of the new Warhammer Underworlds.
Yeah.
So I purchased
David went
Nethermaze.
Nethermaze. Have you got it there?
Because I like some Skaven assassins.
It's a shame you haven't got a decent camera. We could have done an unboxing for the folks.
And Warhammer Harrowdeep, the Exiled Dead. And then just to make my free shipping up, for those that like MTG and like minis,
hang on a minute. Wait, David, wait. Look at
You're going to make me bigger. Are you going to make me bigger?
Now you can show, because you're watching it on a lag, so everybody can see.
Yeah. There is a Jace, the Mind Sculptor mini that I'm going to paint up for Frostgrave.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. I must confess, I'm excited to see how that comes out. And that's genius, actually. Using those Magic the Gathering miniatures for Frostgrave is the work of genius.
So, yeah, we're going to... My only criticism, and I will level a criticism now.
What?
Why release a brand new warband for Harrowdeep the same day that you release the brand new box set for the next season?
Yes, but
GW,
you moaned about that. You moaned about that last month. You can't moan about it. Last week, rather. You can't moan about it 2 weeks on the trot. I think there's a contractual thing there. You only get one moaning opportunity, not two.
Oh, I wanted all the moaning opportunities.
No, you shall not have them. So As we were chatting last night, because we're all in a bit. I mean, to be fair, I played Underworlds for the first time in a few months the other week and really enjoyed it. So we said, do you know what? As Underworlds is floating your boat, let's all do Underworlds. So it didn't take me long to find a load of Underworlds that I haven't got assembled. So I went and got
the shit I sent you up the other time.
Yes. So you've got the Grimwatch that you sent me before. That was a purchase at last year's Games Expo, discounted.
Wasn't that
and this is out of the Night Vault start set. I've already done the Stormcasts, but not. Oh, let's do this again where people can see it. So let's try that again. This was what David sent me up in my in a care package. You bought this locally, David, didn't you, when it had been reduced?
Yeah, I bought it at my local model shop when basically they took the barcodes off it and should have sent it back, and it was cheap AF.
Yeah, and I
think they were like 15 quid or something, and I bought like 100 quid's worth and shared them around between all my friends.
So I got these guys at UK Games Expo last year, heavily discounted, because they'd be very old. They'd be very old set. And
I mean,
this is what's left of my Night Vault starter that's got to be put together and worked on. So
speaking
the
of
plan
something else
for the
bench.
David, let me give you bigger so that people can see what's going on there.
OG Shadespire set, the Chosen Axes. That was again one I picked up last year.
Patrick's got them. I've played against them. I've never lost against them, but whether that's Patrick hasn't worked quite how to make them effective, I don't know, or whether I'm just a gaming god. I think the jury's still out. So the plan for tonight is I'm going to get 3 of these assembled. What do you think?
I challenge you, but may I please make a public safety announcement for all involved at home when building miniatures? Please take away the Tamiya extra thin cement from your Redgrass Games wet palette.
Yes. Shut up.
Love you, Ginge.
Oh, I tell you what, talking of wet palettes, did you see... Don't ask me the company, because I don't know.
Did
you see Luke
APS video, but I haven't actually watched it yet. I added it to my watch later list. No spoilers.
Well, all I was going to say was... the wet palette that he sort of like had a look at was quite a sophisticated piece of kit. It was a wet palette plus dry palette combined and brush storage. It was it looks to be about the same size as the small Redgrass Gaming one, which I've got here. So it's roughly the same size as far as I can see from his vid. But it's considerably thicker because you've got like your wet palette layer, then you've got a dry palette with wells, almost like a watercolor tray, if that makes sense. And then the whole thing fits together in a 3 or 4 layer sandwich.
Assemblage.
And as I did have the mishap with the plastic cement and melted the bollocks out of this, I thought I might treat myself to one of those, because now that I've started using the speed paints, having a dry palette is going to be really handy.
Yeah, I mean, I would say hold your horses, wait for UKGE, but after that point, knock yourself out.
I'll be honest, I won't be getting it before then, mate, because I bought my tickets at 46 quid from a 3-day ticket.
That reminds me, I need to buy mine tonight, because otherwise I'm going to forget about it for another fucking week, and then I won't be going to UK Games Expo because they'll all be sold out or some other cunting thing. So
yeah,
that will be a thing that will be done after stream this evening.
So I've still got to get my train ticket. Is the one? Yes. Let me see if I can show the peeps at home. I don't know if you've seen them. You won't have seen Tim. Yeah, Tim got a speed paint dry palette as well. The problem with using them on the wet palette, I found, Tim, is that they stain your sponge. Now, I haven't had any bleed back through when I change the paper. I think it's just like cosmetic damage to the sponge. But
I mean, it's not like your fucking wet palette's not already got shit ton of cosmetic damage.
I don't want to run the risk that it does start to bleed back through the paper. I do. The thing is, it's a trade-off, because when you use them on a dry palette, they do dry very quick. So you've got to be careful not to be wasting a ton of speed paint. But as I say, as Luke reviewed the product, and I thought, that's probably good timing for me to look at buying. So I probably will get one. They might even have them at UKGE. You don't know, do you? I will have to make sure I know what the brand is. Although I think it's a fairly unique product. What I was going to do was try and find for everyone get my photos of my speed paint project queued up. I did put a few on
the Instagram.
It's not going to work.
And Facebook. Easy build minis. How do we feel about them?
I quite like the Underworlds minis, to be fair.
They're really gorgeous sculpts, dynamic sculpts, but my fucking god, are some of these XR dead spindly as fuck.
So here we go. Oh, let's so here's my some of my speed paint minis that I did.
You're ahead of me on Assassin's Creed shit.
So I'm pretty happy with the results as it goes.
I know what I should have asked you to do. I should have asked you to pull up the Dicky sword pick from our group for the ones Ricky took of my painting comp entry.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not organised, so I've done sort of my slideshow, but
didn't think to do anyone else's.
No.
That's fine. We can sort that out after.
I want to.
What the fuck? This guy's got hands on his cape. It's a bit weird. Fuck me, that head is a cunt though. Oh my god, he's wearing like a leather face mask. He's got skin stretched over his vampiric face.
Anyway, David's getting ahead from here and getting assembling. So I'm going to crack on, otherwise I'm going to get left in the dust. So let's start with these night hunts.
Right. Just putting it out there, how many minis do you have to build? Because I've got 7 in my Exiled Dead set, 4 fucking Marathi Shadeborn, and 5 Skaven.
I have 18. 765.
So I've got a slightly easier job than you then.
Okay. On with the magic goggles so that my 50-year-old eyes can see what I'm doing. So, do you want me to start with gaming? My club night this week?
Sure, why not? I can't get that in the hole, you bitch.
Let me just...
Easy build minis my arse.
Oh, stop whining.
Dude, I have one default operating position. It is whining.
These are not the best photos, but I do have some pictures of my gaming on Tuesday night. So on Tuesday night, I played the Carnevale Escape from San Canciano starter games with a guy called Connor. We played both of the first 2 missions, the training wheels mission with that has 2 miniatures aside, and then the full 4 miniatures aside. Using the whole set. I lost both, which we'll gloss over.
I assume you were playing Rashar?
I was playing Rashar. That was a damn good guess. Why, have you heard on the grapevine that they're massively underpowered?
No, I just know that you like giving yourself a hobby challenge and fucking kneecapping yourself.
Because that's the way I roll.
That'd be a thing.
Let me see if people see. No, people can't see my cursor, so there's no point me sort of like using that to indicate. So in this first picture, this shows this was actually mission 1, and if everybody looks on the right hand side, there's this tiny little sort of street urchin miniature called the Pilferer for the guild, which is what Connor was playing. Essentially, in this mission, your only way of scoring is you score 1 point for each of your models that you get into your opponent's deployment zone, which is like a little for Connor, his deployment area is a little quarter circle in the bottom right hand corner of this map, and mine is a quarter circle 6 inches across in the top left hand corner. So we literally had to run past each other, but obviously, unless you want the game to end as a draw and you to have 2 miniatures in each quarter, you have to at some point attack your opponent and try and kill one of their miniatures to give yourself an edge. And Connor played an absolute... looks like Tim's off. See you later, Tim.
Hi, Tim. Have a good evening.
So, what was I saying? So, for it not to end in a draw, you need to make sure that you interact with your opponent at some point. And he played a blinder of a game, because this bloody Pilferer model that I've mentioned on the right hand side as you're looking at it in the middle there, it's so difficult to pin down. It hasn't got a lot of health, but it disengages. Every time you try and engage the damn thing, it just disengages and legs it. And what he managed to do was run that into my deployment zone, and then this crossbow guy just kept my other 2 guys tied down, so he won 1-0, which was really annoying. The next... So this was the same mission, just a different shot. Show a bit clearer with a bit less matte glare, because this paper matte is a bit shiny. All this terrain that you can see comes in the start set, and the cardboard buildings and the cardboard bridge, etc. So we were just literally using from the game. And this was the second mission. This was 4 models aside. This one was much more complicated, because you had like the secondaries, you had 2 secondaries each, you had a faction specific goal, so like I had to drown a model, he had to attack somebody, kill a model by jumping off a roof with the attack from above, and we got 1 victory point for each opponent's models we killed. And I made this stupid mistake of running my leader model, which if you're looking at this photo, my models are on the bottom edge. My leader model is the one with the large base, the yellow. I ran him up. I did a superb cinematic thing. So he ran along the quayside, jumped onto that piece of floating flotsam, then jumped onto the gondola, and then attacked the gondolier. Just doing 3 actions, didn't kill the gondolier, and then fell off the gondola. I climbed back up onto the quayside, and his gondolier and his leader model, which is in the top centre there, that woman with the fisherwoman with the net, they basically kicked my ass. They absolutely smashed my leader model into oblivion. I didn't realise they were quite so effective in combat, or I wouldn't have been quite so gung-ho. But you live and you learn. It was a bit of a car crash. But in summary, really loved the game. We made a few rules errors. It was only my second time of having to play it. of trying it. So but I mean, we've learned a load. I know how attacks of opportunity work. I didn't realise you could do grapples and drown actions off attacks of opportunity, which is cool. We've got a lot of the movement shenanigans down. And as I say, I now know a lot of the models better. So Jesus, I'm going to respect those guild models a lot more because they're brutal. The dive action is amazing. It's so cool. So I don't know. You've read the rules, haven't you, David?
Briefly, ages ago. I've not actually played the game yet.
Each model gets 2 action points. One of the things you can do for 2 action points is take the dive action. And basically, you make a dexterity check, and if you pass, you just literally gain, I think it's called an underwater token. And that's it. That's all that happens. Then, next time you activate, you can optionally discard any underwater tokens on your model and get a free move, either 4 inches, or if you're an aquatic creature, 8 inches.
Jesus.
And then you get to activate. So what I did with my Lesser Rill, which is the water demon you can see here in the canal, is I took the dive action for the first 2 turns, gained 2 underwater tokens. Then on turn 3, I shot 16 inches right across the board, climbed up out of the key and went and battered his crossbowman just at close quarters, and you covered the distance so quickly. And obviously what it represents is when you dive, you're actually swimming underwater, but your opponent doesn't know where.
Yeah.
And it's just so cool. And each dive token gives you an extra protection so that you're virtually immune to being shot at or attacked or anything like that. It's really cool.
That's awesome.
The game's amazing. I'm definitely going to look to get some terrain. I've also been blowing cash, so we've got Dracula and his brides queued up, ready to prepare.
Dracula and his bitches.
Yeah, Strigoi Dracula's host. And then I just need to get myself a second box for the Strigoi. I don't know what yet. I'm tempted by the new ones from Blood on the Water, all the little flying dudes.
I think you should do it, mate.
But that's what we did. 2 games filled our 3 hours pretty, thoroughly.
Successfully.
Yeah. It was a really good sesh. And like I say, it's got me completely hyped for the game. Like I say, the cinematic moments, it's just like, just jumping jumping onto the debris, jump onto the gondola, make an attack, fall in the water. It's just amazing.
Yeah, don't drown.
Absolutely amazing.
I'll tell you what I did see on the internet, actually, and it came up on my Google on my phone. It was there was a article. Can't remember who it was by now, because my phone's being used as my camera. But it was an article as to reasons why you should play Frostgrave over Warhammer or other games.
Okay.
And it was actually a really good read. It was quite interesting. Actually, I have an idea.
So
if I go to the internet, I can look at the history of what I looked at on my phone, on my computer, and then I'll be able to sort of give everybody a brief overview.
Yeah, so I was going to say, it'd be good if you could expound on it. I mean, they are very different gaming experiences, aren't they?
Yes. No, I don't want to search Chrome. I want to... History. Can I filter by... What time was it? It was...
Oh, I see. You're trying to go back through your history.
Yeah. Better fights than D&D and greater stories than Warhammer. Frostgrave is the miniatures game everyone should play.
Okay, slightly biased, but yeah.
By Dicebreaker.com.
Dicebreaker. I think I've looked at their website before. Did that come up in your Google feed, your news feed?
Yeah, my Google news feed when I open Chrome on my
I've
mobile.
had articles from Dicebreaker come up in mine. They're not bad actually. So, what do they reckon? I mean, better combats than D&D.
Yeah.
They're certainly less fucking long-winded than 5th edition.
Well, so I think they break it down and sort of kind of spell it out, but basically, unlike D&D, where obviously you roll to hit and then you're rolling a second set of dice, because of that roll-off mechanic in Frostgrave,
where your hit roll effectively is your damage. Yeah.
And streamlining the game, it's a good experience. Do you know what I mean?
Yep, that is very true. To be fair, the game does run very quickly. It doesn't hang about.
I've just seen a line that piques my interest. Games Workshop has often felt like a miniature studio first and a games design studio second. It makes money when you spend your life saving on a massive, intricate model of some four-headed dragon that takes multiple weeks of your life to build and paint. And whilst those models are absolutely beautiful things, real works of art that you can be proud of constructing and will look great both on the table and on your shelves at home, the game itself doesn't give you the just reward for the time, money invested in this special character or unit, and you're not going to be too happy about it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So yeah, I had a quick skim read of it, and it actually was quite good. So I definitely recommend for those that are certainly peaked in Frostgrave, Stargrave, or Frostgrave Ghost Archipelago. Go try it.
Or even Rangers of Shadow Deep's got very similar core mechanics. Because what's quite good with McCulloch is he's put quite a different spin on. Each of them's got their own unique features, even though at their heart they're the same engine.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we even commented on it, didn't we? Because you bought me Ghost Archipelago for either birthday or Christmas.
Yep.
When I came up and visited you 2020.
Yep.
Because I bought the book with me and we tried a demo game of it. We commented and was like, this is what second edition Frostgrave is going to be like, isn't it? With limiting the amount of specialist units and everything else, because this game plays so much better than OG first edition Frostgrave.
Yeah, they definitely learned some lessons. I mean, that's the other thing that's nice about McCulloch. He definitely does learn lessons and implement design changes from his
other games.
Do you know what I mean? You don't, for the risk of sounding repetitive, he doesn't seem to make the same mistakes over and over and over again, does he?
I think the other thing as well with most of McCulloch's games is everything's pretty well fucking balanced. Yeah, there was a bit of a loophole in first edition that ranged is OP and certain people would just spam archers and crossbowmen like it was going out of fashion. Which made for a not so fun game, but now that's been basically hard limited. It's like, yeah, no, that's fine. You can only have like 5 models, so fuck you.
It's either, even if it's not what's the phrase you used? Even if it's not balanced as such, the game doesn't try and sell you on the idea. Do you know what I mean?
And again, you can get absolutely shafted, have your fucking wizard apprentice, everything killed really early on. And it's like, just fucking screw your thing up and go again. Like, until you get to a certain level, it doesn't fucking matter, does it?
No, the spike dice thing, because you're using that D20 system, the spike dice thing can be pretty huge in terms of producing utterly chaotic outcomes,
results.
Can't it?
Yeah.
But, you know, that's part of the game's charm, in a way.
I like it that... I mean, this kind of brings us on to the next topic that we said we was going to talk about this evening of rose-tinted spectacles and looking back at older editions and memories we have playing. So Paul has for Frostgrave a orc warband with old like 90s fantasy orcs, don't you?
Yeah, a lot of metal fantasy, Warhammer Fantasy Battle orcs.
And
basically just repurposed.
One of them is called John Rambo.
Yes, his nickname.
John Rambo earned his nickname by single-handedly. Bear in mind, this guy's what, a thug or a thief? He's like fuck all in
he's
in
an archer,
terms.
isn't he? He's just a stock archer, the bog standard.
Is he? I thought
that's why he was John Rambo, because he kept. It was like he was armed with
an
M16,
yeah, he's like
not
fucking
a bow.
Deadeye, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's like, you know, is that a bow or is that a fucking machine gun? How's he doing this?
John Rambo's rolling around fucking critting everyone, killing wizards like it's going out of fashion and everything else, starts getting his nickname. John Rambo got a little bit too close to a treasure and got jumped by a giant worm. John Rambo took giant worm out with a fucking dagger on his own and then slid down the body.
Yeah, and we were like, oh, this is it. He's pushed his luck one step too far. But no.
John Rambo
the game said, have another natural 20 on me. And John Rambo said, yeah, all right then. That sounds cool.
But we've had some really good memories playing Frostgrave. We've played with some of the spellcaster supplements that you can get on Drive-Thru RPG. We had a really good couple of sessions actually with them dragon rules where we were fucking tiptoeing around that dragon and trying not to wake the fucker before it mauled us all to death.
Correct me if I'm wrong, that's more of a multiplayer like co-op style scenario, isn't it? Where you gang up on the dragon.
Yeah, it is. Again, it's like the giant worm sort of situation. The giant worm just happens to shaft somebody, but everyone wants to kill it at the end of the day because they get the XP.
Get points.
And points mean prizes.
But yeah, so what did you get up to?
We'll go for that. I played some Gaslands. So it was me, Ricky, DW, and Luke. We played flag tag. So basically, 20 mil spawn point near the edge of the board. You place a flag within medium range of your spawn point. You've got to go crash into an opponent's flag, collect it, and the first one to collect 3 flags wins the game. That's it. Simple as. And as soon as your flag is destroyed, you place another one down within medium range of your spawn point.
Right.
We all built pretty good lists. It was a pretty good game. I did feel a bit bad for the lads when we went into turn 2 and suddenly everything started exploding like it was going out of fashion in fucking typical Gasland style. And then there's just me and DW playing with the 2 cars that we've got, while both the other lads have either wiped out and therefore can't activate, or their cars are exploded. So, yeah, that was the thing. But ended the game with me on 3, David on 1, Luke on 1, I want to say.
Was that an artifact of spike dice, or was it like a... Is it? Do you think?
No.
So
basically, we were playing on a 4x4 map.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of had a mid to corner spawn point.
Yeah.
Ricky went gunning straight for me on the opposite corner, and Luke to his left hand side. Luke went gunning straight for me and for Ricky.
So you were all playing quite aggressive.
Yeah. I played rather sensibly and took sentry guns on both my cars and used them both while they were driving away to drop sentry guns to act as a deterrent for people collecting my flags.
Okay.
And DW was gunning for me and Ricky. So again, we all went pretty aggro.
Do you think the sentry guns leaned into the scenario?
Yes, definitely.
And did you pick them after you determined the scenario, or were you just running them anyway?
Picked them after the scenario because we said we were playing this scenario, and then we all built our list. So it wasn't like
so you all did the same thing. That's fine.
We all did the same thing. We all went into it because Ricky had sentry guns and mines, DW had mines, Luke had.
Oh right, okay. So you weren't the only one to spot the sentry gun advantage. That's fine.
So Luke comes gunning for me, crashes into me head on. I take 8 of his 9 hull points off his car in a single action.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's how fucking brutal it was. That was massive spike dice. Luke crashed head on into Ricky, both of them in 4th gear. Ricky was a weight class lighter, and Luke had a ram, so I think Luke rolled like 16 dice and took it out in 1 hit.
Okay.
It was fucking carnage. I went and got a flag from Luke's spawn. Luke placed it right next door to my car, like beside my car, so I'd have to use templates to get around and get it again.
Yeah.
But I did some finagling with 2 hairpins and use 2 hairpins to get round, and basically collected 2 flags from Luke's spawn.
So you pulled some movement shenanigans to do something that Luke didn't think you would be able to do.
Yeah. And then at this point, DW had got one of Ricky's flags. Oh no, Luke was going for my flag, and then Luke got fucking mortared off the table by DW. That was the thing. Like, Luke was millimeters away from crashing into my flag and collecting it, and David just fucking mortar striked him. David got Ricky's flag, and Ricky placed another one. David had left his flag open, so the one car that I'd kind of been dicking around with in the middle of the map to annoy Ricky, DW, and sort of everyone that was going towards the middle, I just fucking gunned it and went and got DW's flag, and we packed up about half hour before club ended.
Right.
It was a really good cinematic game. It was a really cool game. I just felt bad for the lads.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that didn't help is, obviously, if it's a 2-player game, it's not too bad. When it's a 4-player game and everybody's got 2 cars, it's quite a gap before you get to play again.
Oh, right, yeah, because you've got to go round
through 6 phases of gears.
Yeah. Do you think that's an issue with it as a true multiplayer game?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you think from that point of view it works better, you think, as a 2-player?
I think it certainly works better as a 2-player. I know Luke wants to do some narrative at some point.
Right.
So what I've kind of had a thought about is using some of the narrative rules that are in the book, but then also, for example, just saying there's 4 or 5 of us in this like living league.
I was going to say, do you by narrative, do you mean like a campaign mode where
it's like a campaign mode.
So you upgrade your cars and you get better kit as you go.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's like that. But then also the flip side of that coin is if you've won an event, that car going into like a big event that's played over a couple of nights of club, of like a death race, then the Friday Night Live, which is just a massive demolition derby, to get your seat to go to Mars. Because that, at the end of the day, that's what everyone's playing for.
Okay, that's sort of like the lore behind why you have all this scrapping and fighting.
Yeah, nuclear apocalypse, you're basically racing for your life to get taken to Mars. Because it's all the Martian, or all the people that left for Mars that pay for this fucking Saturday night entertainment kind of thing. Because fuck it, it's the post-apocalyptic future and it's a nuclear wasteland. How are your minis going together, sir?
I'm still on my first one. You're putting me to shame.
I'm on my 4th.
To be fair, this is actually the first miniature in the Underworlds mini where I'm not entirely happy with it, to be fair. It's got seams that are going to
all
need
over.
gap filling with...
The layer of plastic putty is your friend.
They are. It is going to need doing. Let's show everybody at home. There we go. First one done. Very pretty. I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera, but where these two pieces have gone together on the top, there's seams here that are going to need filling with plastic putty. Actually, you're in studio mode. Let's try that again. God, I'm old and technophobic. Yes, so this is the miniature, all finished. And here is where I'm going to need to do some gap filling. Sorry about the jittery focus. I try to put my mobile in manual focus mode, but it's not the easiest thing in the world with Video Ninja, as anybody who has used it will attest. Because when you've got your mobile clamped in the frame, you can't easily use the screen. So all in all, you had a good night and a good game.
Yeah. So yeah, I pre-ordered the Underworlds on Saturday morning at about 8. It was here on Wednesday. Yeah, it was here yesterday, on Wednesday.
Yes, yesterday was Wednesday. You are correct.
From Zar2 Games.
Nice.
But it was just a little bit cheaper than Goblin, and
I do like Zar2. I use them a lot, because they've got all of the Arkham Horror living card game stuff, which people who've watched us before will know I'm absolutely mad for.
Right, let me move my camera so people at home can see what I've done so far. So we have the leader, who is a vampire with a big electric staff. We have this bitch that actually I'm really happy about. GW started adding some elevations on their bases, Paul. Look.
Oh, that's nice. Is this the Crimson Court that I have coming?
No, this is the Exiled Dead, sir.
Oh, your new one. Look at this. Look at it. Fucking Cult of the New, everybody. David's on the Cult of the New. It's only been out 5 minutes.
Literally, not even a week old yet.
Shit. I have.
And then this is one of my favorite minis. It's got a massive dagger. It's all twisted, and then they've got like electro coils on them, so they're quite cool. There's another one I've got to build in a minute that boys and girls at home will have probably seen on the teaser, which is, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's got a massive fucking like Frankenstein arm, and there's all electric coils and stuff stuck in it.
I have a confession to make. I do apologise to everybody who's watched us talking about Underworlds before and watching me bang on about, well, my preferred way to play is not deck building over much and just using the faction cards, blah, blah, blah.
Oh.
I didn't realise until the other day that as of, I think it was Diachasm it was introduced, or was it Beast?
No, it was introduced in Harrowdeep. Last set, posthumously for the ones that were done before.
Ah, right. Okay, that explains why I've missed it then, because I feel less bad now that it was such a new thing. But as those of you who are a bit more expert will know, it's actually a game mode that's built into the game called Rivals. And essentially, for the new warbands, where they come with a fixed deck and no upgrade cards, you just simply play with that deck, and you're good to go.
No, that's a lie, because this Exiled Dead does come with upgrade cards, so it gives you the option to play Championship if you want.
Oh, I see. Right, okay.
And play Rivals.
But it tells you which of the upgrade cards.
I'll show you. Because I haven't actually undone the cards yet.
And I noticed, because for the older stuff, they actually printed this is the deck list we recommend you use for...
Yeah, the only problem is it didn't go all the way back to Shadespire like I'd have wanted, which was my Yuthari Guardians that I had to go and look on the internet for a deck that I could build.
Did it go as far back? I think Beastgrave was as far back as they went with it, wasn't it? I
think so. The only other irritating thing, and I don't know if you're aware, Paul, and you can see on your screen, they've changed the back of the cards.
Yes, I did notice they'd changed the cards, both the front design and the rear design, very dramatically, because I was watching Ash Barker's playthrough and I thought, okay, well, we're going to need card sleeves then.
Yeah, because if you want to play anything out the other sets, you can't now because you know what it is.
Having said that, though...
If you're playing Rivals, it doesn't fucking matter.
Well, true.
But no,
and they rotate the damn stuff out anyway, so...
Yeah, so basically now...
it's going to be legal for a long while, though, isn't it? No.
Because I do believe they've made the precedent of it's basically this set and the last set.
So this and Harrowdeep?
It's a Nether Maze and Harrowdeep.
Okay,
but obviously they're releasing this set every 6 months now.
Harrowdeep's card backs are the old format.
No, Harrowdeep's card backs are these ones.
Alright, so basically, the only cards legal now are Harrowdeep and Nether Maze, and they all look the same.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
So now, on your cards, I don't know if that's focusing well, you've got, these are additional cards, these are upgrade cards. Yeah. So they've got, like, the universal symbol for them.
Yes.
And then they also have, like, ones that are specific for factions.
Yeah, they always used to have.
And so, for example, this one's for Chaos.
Because I did notice, like, I don't know if it was a thing with Harrowdeep, but Nether Maze, you do get, it's almost like you get the card pack that they used to sell separately now comes in.
Yes, you could. Yeah, you get it in it now.
So actually, I was bitching and moaning about the price jump, but actually they've rolled 2 products into one. So it's not as bad as I was making out, is it?
No, it's not terrible. So they're the additional cards anyway. Rivals cards now come with your warband symbol in the top right-hand corner. So even if you went and played some championship format...
Oh, so the Rivals
you
cards
can go
and
find the Rivals cards afterwards to rebuild your deck for Rivals, which is awesome.
That is good, actually. That is very clever. So you don't even need to refer to an online list or anything. It's all on the cards in front of you.
No, it's all in front of you. So we've in this warband we have Bolt, Coil, Dane Talos the Exile, Ione, Prentice Markov, Regulus, and Vlash. It's because it's a 7-man warband, and for those not in the know, obviously with Underworlds you have 2 card statuses. So you have your normal uninspired version, and usually you have to do something and then you become inspired, and typically you get more movement or better attack or something along those lines.
Yeah, extra defense dice, blah blah blah.
The exiled dead are different. Half of the warband starts the game inspired, because fuck it, why not?
So only half of the warband does that, though.
Well, 5/7, I think. Let me just double check, because I got them here. So Vlash starts the game inspired, Regular starts the game inspired, Prentice Markov doesn't start the game inspired, but if a friendly Regulus sees attack action succeeds, he inspires, which is one of the minions.
Yep.
We then have Ione, who begins the game inspired. Dane Talos, if a friendly minion takes an enemy fighter out of action, he inspires.
Okay, so what happens with the ones that start inspired? Can they uninspire?
Yes. So what happens is... So here we go. Vlash inspired. He's conductive and he's a minion. 3 movement, 1 shield for his defense, 2 damage. He has 1 attack, which is a weighty club, range 1, 2 dice looking for swords, 1 damage, and it has knockback 1 and overload. Overload gives you +1 damage to this attack action if the target is staggered, which is one of the keywords that I think came about because of Harrowdeep.
Yeah, that's a new condition, isn't it? I don't
Yeah,
know how it works because I don't own Harrowdeep.
We have Unbound. After a power step or activation step, if this fighter has 1 or more raise counters, this fighter is uninspired.
Okay.
So
that's really intriguing. So
because it's an army of basically zombies and its vampire leader.
Yeah.
Here we go. So dance dynamic, which is Daintalis, which is the leader's action. Pick, move, or attack. Each friendly conductive fighter can make 1 action of that kind, then place up to 1 friendly out-of-action conductive minion in an adjacent hex, 2 or more hexes from each enemy fighter, and give that minion a raise counter. Reactions cannot be used during this action.
Okay, right. So
he basically brings back dead fighters constantly.
Right, but in doing so, they gain the raise counters, which then alters their inspired state.
Yes.
Interesting.
And once you're unbound and you've been re-raised, you can't go back to being inspired.
So it's just like inspiring. It's a one-way street.
Yeah,
but the opposite way. Do you know what? I think it's not often we'll say it, but I think they really do deserve some credit for the design team for this game. The more I play it, the more I see of it, they've got some really refreshing ideas in it. I like the cut of its jib a lot. Do you know what I mean?
I've just had a thought because of how easy it is to bring fucking Underworld shit to UKGE.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pack probably my entire box because I've just got a 9-litre really useful box.
Do you know what? That's a good call because I've packed 3 warbands into a single bloody Chinese food container, so they're hardly a huge amount. That would be cool because actually, do you know what? I could play this every night in the and
not get bored of it
in the whole hotel room. I think that's a good call, mate. We'll leave the magic decks at home.
I'll still probably throw a commander deck in because DW will probably want to play some commander one night.
Oh, that's true. Because it's not going to be just the 2 of us, is there?
No, there isn't.
No, that is a good call. That is a very good call. Because the other thing as well, to be fair, if I bring my starter set, we can even go in the gaming hall and sort of like
just grab a table.
If people want to join in, we can say, yeah, sure.
Yeah, here you go. We've got
multiple warbands. Pick your poison and go for it.
I'm trying to ram too many cards in one fucking sleeve thing.
That is a good call, sir. A very good call.
Well, again, it's just one of those things, and that is again it's the thing I like about Underworlds. You need boards, some dice, and you're done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You ain't got to pack a billion things to do, and you ain't got and again, that's the thing, like, particularly for ourselves, having not played much Championship, and Championship being a rotating format that doesn't really interest us because it's similar to Magic, i.e. power creepy, and you've got to spend money constantly.
And it's the hamster wheel thing. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to get on that and then, I've got to buy this, I've got to buy this, and now I can't use this. It's like,
well, again, that's the other even more annoying thing now, particularly if you did want to get into Championship, because they're doing it as a 6-month release cycle.
Yeah.
Constantly of a new 65 quid Harrowdeep or Nether Maze box or everything else. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do know exactly what you mean. And I'll be honest, I've reached that age where when game companies want to start telling me when I can and can't play with my toys and how I can and can't
You
play
tell
with my
them
toys.
to fuck off.
Yeah, I'm like, do you know what? You enjoy yourself, but I am out of your product, son. I will do with my stuff what I want. Thank you very much.
And what I want is not to be told what is and isn't legal.
Yeah. And for all the reasons we've said, I can see a situation where I actually keep my eyes peeled on eBay and I actually pick up the entire product range posthumously for Underworlds. It is a product where I would love to own all of it.
Now, usually we've got quite a rep for being salty and anti-GW, particularly one of us in this stream.
Yeah.
But it is a game I love, and the other thing is as well, the minis, they're so dynamic and cool, and I use the word easy to build as a loose phrase here, but they're all the easy build sculpts, and they're so unique as well.
I mean,
do you know what I mean?
These are probably the fiddliest. I've put together 3 warbands. These are the fiddliest I've ever had to do. But it's because the models are so bloody insubstantial. I've never had to build any other Night Haunts, but I imagine it's similar. Do you know what I mean?
The Dreppers Wraith Creepers that I built, they were a cunt.
But yeah, and do you know what? When I first looked at getting into this game, everybody was like, nobody plays it casually. If you looked on the interwebs, which I know is a reckless and dangerous thing to do, everybody was like, nobody plays it casually, everybody plays it competitively. Oh, it's horrible.
It's
blah,
championship
blah.
or nothing.
Yeah. Well, having said that, even if that was the case, there's GW have obviously, the design team have been given the freedom to push back and say, look, I'm sure lots of people are buying this and playing it as a straight board game. We need to put that in the rules in some formal way so that players can talk to each other and go, so you want to play Underworlds, let's just make sure they're on the same page. What version of Underworlds do you want to play?
Rivals or Championship?
The version where you've spent 200 quid and I've spent 20 and then you ruffle stomp me, or the version where we just throw down some models and have a bit of a laugh. And to actually enshrine that in the rules and in the sort of game's heart, I think that's brilliant. And it's so unlike GW currently, isn't it?
I would also like to make another point.
Make it.
The pricing on these, considering obviously each one of these warbands is a brand new injection mold tool, and the cards and everything else.
Yeah.
20. What is it? 20, 30? Because they get they're around the 30 mark because they get discounted to 15% off to about 22.
Yeah, I think my local bookshop that's got a GW concession. I mean, bearing in mind we are islands of Scotland, so we're not going to get any major high street discount in here. But they do a discount for members of our local gaming club, and I can pick up the Harrow Deep warbands for 24. With my discount, I think, which I don't think is bad. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that's bad value. You can
and flip note here. You can get multiple games done in an evening.
Well, that's the other thing, isn't it? You can get at least 2 done in a regular session, more if you're really experienced and know your warband. Because half the problem is deciding how to manage your hand. I find that's the biggest time sink on the game. Looking at the cards in your hand and planning your turn and deciding.
RTFC, read the fucking card.
Yeah, but once you know what cards are coming and once you've made those decisions half a dozen times, the pace really picks up because it's just like, well, yeah, I'll go for this. I can do this. I know I can score this. That's impossible. Let's just get what I can done and move on. But yeah, as I say, I'm learning my third. I would say I can't. Apologies to everybody at home. I don't know the names, but I've got the original Orc one.
I know which one you're on about. It's the one that you can buy as an expansion set for iOS. Oh fuck!
You only get 4 models.
It's not the Orc Brute Ironjaw Brute one. It's the Hard Boys equivalent.
It is, yes.
Iron Skulls.
Yes, Iron Skulls something. But I can play them pretty snappy now. Draw my cards, have a quick look. Yep, okay, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. And my Skaven Skriscrivet, is it?
Spike Claw Swarm.
Spike Claw Swarm, yeah, led by Skriscrivet, whatever his name is. Again,
here's my favourite mini out of the set.
That's the fat-armed zombie.
Yeah, he's got full Frankenstein arm.
Excelente Presidente.
Oh, see, again, this is the other thing. I don't usually paint undead, so this is going to be refreshing.
But that's the thing about Underworlds as well, though, isn't it, mate? The hobby commitment. It's so light touch. Just want to do half a dozen models of a particular thing? Just do it. Want to paint half a dozen Sylvaneth? Yeah, that's fine. Just paint half a dozen. Don't have to paint 30 bloody dryads. Just paint 2, 3. Yeah, there's so many little nice little fucking touches. As I say, Games Workshop definitely deserve a pat on the back, I think, for this game. That's dropped that. That ended well. I'm just going under my desk. So yeah, it's been a bit of a slow news. I don't know if you feel the same, mate. It's been a bit of a slow news week on the old interwebs. I've not seen much that's inspired me.
You know the reason why, though?
Why's that?
What are we 4 weeks away from?
Yeah, what, you think a lot of the companies are holding stuff back?
Keeping their powder dry.
Yeah,
keeping the powder dry. It's the biggest event in the UK. And GW are back.
Yeah.
Oh, the new GW minis. That is something I do want to talk about. Fuck me, they're gorgeous!
Like the new Chaos?
Yes. Love the new Demon Prince. Love the new Cultists. Love the new Dark Sorcerers. Love the new Possessed. And fucking everything that they've put out looks amazing. Not so much of a fan of the new Leagues of Votan mini that was teased.
The trike.
The guy on the bike.
Yeah, I haven't looked at a big version of the pic, but I did see it when I was browsing our Discord. And I'm like you, I'm a bit,
To be fair, I was a bit meh about the entire aesthetic when it was announced that we were getting basically the equivalent of squats back. But we did have a discussion about that.
Yeah, I mean, I refer everybody to our other video. The TLDR version is, or TLDW. Is hyped, yes, but concerned about cost.
But if it's super elite, it shouldn't cost fuck all.
No, yeah, but...
Oh, wait a minute, this is GW.
You know, even a super elite army, if I've got to buy 30 models, how expensive is it going to start getting? Do you know what I mean?
I'm done. The Exiled Dead are built.
Give over. You're seriously... You finished a warband already?
Yeah.
Right.
Done.
Okay, shut up. That's it. I'm not talking to you now. That's it. This is now going to be a silent live stream, everybody, because I need to crack on. I'm not having
Skaven or Shadowborn? Pick.
Skaven, absolutely Skaven, every day of the week, because, oh my god, those models look amazing.
Where's my instruction sheet?
And if I had money to burn, I'd buy it for them alone.
I mean, again, I was kind of contemplating not buying them because obviously we're not far away from UKGE. It's another 90 quid that I could have had in my pocket for UKGE. By the time that I bought everything and paid for the delivery, etc. But it was too good not to.
Yeah. And the good thing now is you can bring it with you.
And this was the other thing that I kind of said to myself, because I bought myself the cheap ass 30 odd quid after 15% discount starter that had Drepper's Wraith Creepers and the Storms of Celestus Stormcast Warband, the guys with the crossbows.
So
and the Gryph-hound.
Here's my progress for everybody. Briar Queen. Very nice sculpt, but Jesus.
Chief Fiddly.
Yeah, and the Hanged Man, again, amazing aesthetic. Just this, sorry about the camera messing up the focus. There we go, that's a bit less blurry. Just a fabulous model. Gods, it's gorgeous. So, yes, mate, sorry, carry on, what were you saying?
I cheaped out a bit and bought the 34 quid starter set because obviously that gave me some dice, that gave me 2 boards, that gave me 2 warbands because I already owned this. Because again, this was the thing. I bought the Sepulchral Guard shortly after they came out because it was like, oh, this is cheap for 7 skellies that are from GW. I can use them for D&D and shit. I had no interest in playing Underworlds. And then somebody demoed Underworlds for me, and then I became addicted. Because I now own... Let me think here. Storms of Celestus, Drepper's Wraith Creepers, the Sylvaneth one, the Ironjaw... Yeah, I own that one. I bought that one when I went to that local shop. The Ironjaw Brute Warband, the Goblin Warband.
See, that's another one I wanted. The Goblins on the Wolves.
Goblins riding wolves. I was going to build the Chosen Axes at the weekend, but then I offered them to Luke just before I started cutting them off the sprue, because I did offer them to him, I think, like 3-4 months ago, and he said, no, not at the moment, because money's a bit tight, and they just sat there.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm going to build them at the weekend, because I was like, I had the itch to build some Underworlds, but not go out and spend a stupid amount of money on buying new Underworlds.
Well, particularly if you've got stuff sitting there to do.
Before I cut them off, I'll message Luke, see if he wants them. Message him. Yeah, I'll take them off your hands. Fuck, that's that plan ruined. Right, I'll go pre-order fucking Nethermaze now then, shall I? It's all your fault, Luke, if you watch stream later. It's all your fault. But I just had the itch and I had to scratch it. And I scratched it, and I'm glad I did now. But yeah, I own Drepper's Wraith Creepers, Storms of Celestus, Brutes, Sylvaneth, Sepulchral Guard, Goblins Riding Wolves, Exiled Dead, and the 2 Nethermaze ones. So I'm now on 9 warbands, sir.
Yeah, you're massively overtaken me. And what's weird, we haven't got a single crossover.
No, we haven't, have we?
No, not a single crossover in the warbands we own, which is a bit weird, frankly. And seems highly improbable given that you've got 9 and I've got 5 here at home and 2 more on the way.
Yeah, you got Crimson Court, which is the... What's it called one? The Vampire one.
Yeah.
And the Starbloods.
Yeah. What did you decide about your... Didn't you have a spare...
Yeah, Chosen Axes, and I've got the spare Sepulchral Guard, but I ain't decided yet, and to be brutally honest, mate, you're going to get another care package at some point, and if you don't get another care package at some point, I can even fucking bring them with me when I come to Expo. Do you know what I mean?
I'll definitely take them off you. If you want to get rid of them.
I'll do a last call at club.
Okay.
This week, and then I can probably guarantee what the answer will be. It'll be no. So they're probably yours.
I mean,
the writing's already on the wall.
I don't mind either way. I'm just being greedy, but as I say,
you just want to get up to my numbers.
I will take them. Well, to be fair, if money wasn't so tight at the moment, I'd definitely have gone and bought the Ogre and the Animals one from Harrowdeep from our local shop.
Oh, you also, sir, have treats in your consignment that's on its way.
Oh, good. I do like a treat.
And you got some prezzies from moi. Oh, I don't like this brown plastic that the Skaven are built from.
Why? Difficult to read?
No, it goes brittle when you cut it off the sprue frame.
Okay.
You know how usually it leaves you a nice glossy finish?
Okay.
It pulls out and is all matte when you're cutting it off the sprue. Yeah, it's weird. So I now know not to cut so close to the fucking miniature so that I can shave it off. It's annoying.
You won't notice it when it's painted, though, mate. Come on.
No, but I think it must be something to do with the colour. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, sugar. God, these.
Oh no, I've just realised something. I've got to paint smoke, and what do I not like painting? And that's it, I'm done. Skaven can fuck off.
Why, is one of them chucking a smoke bomb?
No, one of them is stood on a cloud of smoke.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
And it's that bullshit GW smoke, you know, the really cloudy stuff that's everywhere.
Basically a bunch of moulded spheres.
Yeah. Because rather than it being wispy, it's obviously just a fucking huge
set of blobs.
Yeah.
That is tricky to paint, right, actually. Airbrush is your friend, but even then it's tricky.
Tricky. Fucking hell, I am hot.
I am actually. I'm sitting here in my jumper thinking, should have taken this off before I got all my crap on for streaming. Still, I shall suffer it for the folks at home. Sit here.
Sweat it out.
Yeah.
Sweat it out.
I could do losing a few pounds, so it's not all bad, eh?
I've just opened my bedroom window because it's a bit fucking hot, so I apologise if there's any road noise, boys and girls at home.
This guy does not have a head.
What?
Oh, no, he does have a head. He's carrying it around with him. That's fine.
Yeah. Oh, it's tucked under his arm, isn't it?
It is, yep. Precisely. So all's good.
Now, fucking easy builds.
Are you not a fan?
Dude, look at this shit.
Okay.
That's the Skaven sprue.
Yeah, okay. Seems a bit busy.
Let's have half a body here with another bit of the body here and some tails, and let's have a bit more to add. And just fuck off! I don't want 3-part bodies. I want like 2-part bodies at the most.
But you want your sculpts to be dynamic.
Yeah, but I want them dynamic, but without being fucking atrocious to assemble. Is that too much to ask? I don't even remember what numbers I've clipped off. One thing I will give GW credit for, though, on these Underworld sprues. You know how usually
Hang on a minute. Just steady yourself. They've had enough credit for one episode. We need to start.
No, listen here. So we got part number 1, part number 2, part number 3, part number 4, part number 5. They're all grouped together, so you're not looking over 3 or 4 different sprues to try and find the bit that you actually want.
To be fair, these night haunts are dotted pretty much at random, but it is only one sprue, so it's not a massive
egregious.
Yeah, it's not a massive problem.
No, I will give GW.
8,
This
9,
is my give GW credit for an episode, and then I'll go back to slating them soon after. No doubt they'll do something
I'm
that'll
sure
piss
we'll
me
find
off.
something to bitch and fucking moan about next week.
Horus Heresy box price.
It's a joke. Oh, has my phone died? Probably because I see the power cables come out.
Now, while we're on a Praise GW episode, shall we talk about an edition of 40k that we both liked?
Yes, I do apologise, everybody. My phone's dead. Because
oh dear.
Power cable fell out.
Seeing as you said, you've been watching some YouTube videos about old editions of 40k recently, and Rogue Trader, and other shit.
Okay, well, there goes that. I shall have to try and show everybody on the main cam. Yes, so for everybody at home, let me go to my browser, and I'll show everybody what we mean. So I'm over 50 years old, and I've been playing 40k since
for a while.
Rogue Trader days, which we decided was 87, didn't we, last night? 88?
I don't know, I wasn't there for that part of the conversation.
Yeah, we looked it up, but we're both old and forgotten, so it doesn't matter. So hide that, reveal that. I do like this studio mode, even though I am old and an idiot and keep forgetting to press the transition button so that the people at home can see what I'm talking about. So I'm like talking like an expert, and they're like, "Paul, we can't see anything. You're a fool."
It wouldn't be a yellow belly tabletop live stream if there wasn't some issues.
That is true. We don't want to.
The day we get everything right first time, the apocalypse will have come.
Yeah. Time to buy your ice cream van and start preparing for the big end.
Go to the Winchester and wait for it to all blow over.
Everybody who's watched a lot of OnTableTop gets the ice cream van reference, but yeah. So back to this. So I have been watching and really enjoying watching Guerrilla Miniature Games channel in the last few weeks, probably over the last month or so, because for everybody at home, Guerrilla Miniature Games is a guy called Ash Barker based in Canada. I think he's Toronto, but don't quote me on that. And his unique selling point generally is he explores those niche little miniature war games that nobody else will touch or nobody else will show you. Things like Relic Blade. He was one of the early adopters of like Rangers of Shadow Deep, Frostgrave, those sort of things.
What was the one that I bought you?
Yes, Silver Bayonet. He's done loads of that. So he's that's his shtick, but he does cover AOS, 40k, Aeronautica Imperialis he's done. So he does dip his toe into the things, and he's previous GW employee and a sort of self-confessed GW fanboy to some degree. He does enjoy their products and gives them a lot of time, but because he's middle-aged and because he's been doing this forever and a day, he's been doing a load of... He has on Thursdays, he puts a video up every day of the week. The man is absolutely prolific.
He's the king possessed.
He is, I would say he's definitely in my head in terms of his wargaming. He's just he plays everything. You name it, he plays it. And I love that. But he puts up a video every day of the week. On Thursdays, it's called Throwback Thursdays. He does old school shit, discontinued games that have... he did Confrontation. He's done loads of games that have long since curled up their toes and disappeared into the ether. But he's been revisiting early editions of 40k, which I know is a bit trendy. I mean, there's a lot of people on YouTube doing that at the minute. But he started right back at the beginning. He did 2 battle reports of Rogue Trader. Then he moved on to 2nd edition. Then he did like the introduction of the codexes and how that changed 2nd edition. And then he did Dark Millennium, which was the psychic rules that were bolted onto 2nd edition. And for old gits that need a massive nostalgia fix, these videos are really great. I've enjoyed them a lot. And I would highly recommend people check them out. What I will say is that as a nostalgic viewing experience, brilliant. Does it make me want to go back and play 2nd edition 40k, which was the edition I played most of when I was a teenager and a young adult? No, not at all. Where it's model by model activation and the rules are just fucking bolted on layer on top of bolted on layer on top of bolted on layer. It's like, yeah, this was definitely a product of its time. But I mean, he's done same with Space Hulk. He did early Space Hulk, and now he did 2nd edition Space Hulk recently, which I'd forgotten had so many differences to the Space Hulk that I played the 1st edition. I never really played 2nd, although I own a copy. It's got with its custom dice, flamers work differently. I didn't remember any of that. The fact that you get like 3 times the missions. I think there's like 18 missions in Space Hulk 2nd edition where you only get 6 in the 1st edition. It's like insanely good. But yeah, that's that. I've been flexing my nostalgia bone and indulging in some watching of this stuff, and it's bloody great, really, to be fair, to see where the hobbies come from. And it's like I've said, you can look at these products. I've got so many fond memories of playing massive games of 40k over a Saturday and Sunday, a whole weekend on my mate's floor, Chris, or Dougie Hunt going down to his house at Boston, Stuart Hunt going down to his house at Boston, playing him and his brother and Chris, four player 40k Rogue Trader 2nd edition, taking 2 days to play a fucking 1,000-point game.
But it brought us onto a topic, didn't it? Of an edition that we've both played, that we both really like, which is 7th.
Yeah, because obviously we've David and I have covered this ground. We've ragged hard enough on 9th that people know that we're not fans. But actually, it got us talking about what we remember about 7th edition and how bad was it. And
8th as well.
I'm like you, David, because 7th edition, was that your first edition?
That was my first edition.
Yeah.
7th, I bought I bought Dark Vengeance. I bought the Dark Vengeance minis.
Yeah.
I've got them still sat somewhere. That was my first 40k edition. It was the start of my Sally's army, lovely, lovely Sally's army. And it spiraled from there. Then I got a Tau army. And then 8th came out, so I bought the Dark Imperium box set, because why not buy some more stuff for Sally's and me get a new faction? And then I just bought some Mad Mech, because I fancied some Mad Mech.
What was the other faction in Dark Imperium?
Death Guard.
Okay, right.
Because it's like, I've got some Chaos from Dark Vengeance.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I had Imperial Guards and Squats in 2nd edition, but then in like 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th edition, I collected, for 3rd, 4th, 5th, I collected Space Marines and Eldar and what else? Tyranids, when they started to become a thing. So for 6th stroke 7th, I branched out into Necrons for the first time. Bought myself a Necron army because I'd never owned or painted any Crons in all my years, so I enjoyed doing that. But
even though you picked a sadist's colour scheme.
Yeah, well, that was a schoolboy error, wasn't it? I'm watching everybody on the YouTubes just spray them silver and cover them in Nuln Oil. I'm thinking, no, we want we want to go for that ancient Egyptian scintillating blue, gold and bone. No, we don't. Really, we don't, Paul, because after we've painted like 20 or 30 of them, I realise we've got another 30 or 40 to paint. It's like,
aren't Wraiths your favourite models ever?
No, they're not. And
it's a long running joke.
Yeah, Wraiths and Spiders, because they're just got... Again, everybody can feel free to shout in the comments, it's your own stupid fault. You're dead right. I chose to paint them the way I chose to paint them. It just so happens that I just chose to do it on fucking hard mode, which is something that's an utter antithesis for me, and I never do. I always, if there's a shortcut, you'll find me halfway down it before you even realise it's there. But no, not with my Crons. But yeah, I really enjoyed 7th.
And we had some really good games at 7th. Did. I remember one where we tried to play it at club. I think it was like, I want to say 1,500 points each, because we'd got pretty well drilled with our armies.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if we played 1,500 at club, but we'd certainly played.
No, I think we did, because then we replayed it at the weekend and we actually got the game finished.
Yeah, because we didn't finish. That seems what would happen at club. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the old jump, shoot, jump with the Tau and my fucking stealth suit hunting your monolith with its fusion blaster. It's like melter equivalent, and it just kept jumping out, shooting, jumping back, and Paul's like, "Will he just fucking die already?"
Luckily, my monolith had tons of wounds and was actually quite good in 7th edition. Otherwise, that could have gone badly. But yeah. The only time I remember thinking this has got to stop was when all the detachment stuff started.
Yes.
And people, you could buy this 35 quid supplement just for basically a set of detachment rules.
I mean, that was the other thing. It didn't cost you anything to take a detachment, did it? It was just you had to have the models.
Yeah, that was it. You basically had to follow the restrictions for building it, but as long as you could build it, you could just go ham. You got all the special rules, you got all of the bonuses.
At least they learned that lesson when they rebooted Fantasy and brought AOS and their detachments over, because you had to pay for them.
Yeah, and to be fair, they realised that it was just a toxic thing, because like in match play in AOS 3rd edition, I think I'm correct in saying you can't take any of those battalion war scrolls. They're all illegal for match play. So, they very much have learned that lesson, and they're like, no, those days are gone, guys. None of that shenanigans will stand, I'm afraid. And it's fine. Do you know what I mean? It is fine. It needs to be done. It's a dimension that the
I know they
argued,
we're getting rid of blast templates because they slow the game down. But we never really had a bad experience with blast templates.
No. Again...
What are the armor values on vehicles?
No. And facings. Are you inside, front, rear?
I preferred facings on weapons. That was something that annoyed the shit out of me when 8th came around, and it's like, your monolith, I can shoot it 360 degrees. What's it doing? Fucking spinning like a top all the time?
Well, to be fair, the monolith never had facings anyway, because if you remember, it's got...
They were on the corners.
It's got the Tesla corner turrets, and that main Gauss crystal whatever the bloody hell its name is, somebody can put in the comments what its real name is mounted dead center and exposed on all sides, so it always had 360-degree fire. But the problem is, once they dumped it for all of your other vehicles, that it lost something unique, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because everybody else can do that crap too. So it's like...
Well, again, it's like flyers. You used to have to be really tactical with flyers. No one really took them in 7th. Because of the fact that you had to keep them on the board. The only people that tended to take them were Space Marine players, because obviously they just put them in hover mode, which then made them vulnerable. Flyers
in hover mode were good. Regular flyers weren't that great. I had a Doom Scythe that I could run as either Knight or Doom, but I rarely brought it because it just wasn't that great. No. And like you say, trying to finagle your movement so that you don't go off the board and then have to come on in 2 turns, you know, it's like, no, this is no good. But yeah, as I say, I remember loads of things about when they changed, from the reasons we changed from 7th to 8th, like, people don't like keywords, because there was that big list of keywords in the 7th edition rulebook, wasn't there? So, like, I can't remember half of them, but, you know, Feel No Pain does this.
Yeah, but again, that's the thing. It was
Frenzy does this.
Intuitive and realistic. What do we now call, like, the fucking, what's the Death Guard one?
Disgustingly Resilient.
Yeah, it's FMP. It's still FMP.
Well, no, it isn't now, is it? Because this is the thing. This is what... I mean, I get it.
Shit, I've just dropped a mini.
Because one of the... Because you've hit upon... You've sort of accidentally hit upon a defence that could be made by GW here to say, well, you see, we told you it was good to change. Because when they redid the Death Guard, or the Death Guard Codex, they took Disgustingly Resilient as it was off Plague Marines, didn't they? So Plague Marines no longer have a roll a dice 5 up, ignore a wound. What they have is, I don't know the exact rule, people, because I don't play Death Guard, don't own them, and I haven't played against them recently. But I was talking to a friend, and I think it is that they reduce, like, if they get hit by a multiple damage weapon, they take 1 less damage. It doesn't affect single damage shots. So reduce damage taken to a minimum of 1. So that it doesn't affect single damage weapons. But Poxwalkers kept the old format, Disgustingly Resilient, but it is now only on a 6 up, ignore a wound, not a 5 up. I think that's the case. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, you know...
You could be talking out your ass for all I know, because, again, I own them, but I don't play them.
You know, at this point, GW would go, you see, if they both had the same rule and we changed it, we'd have to change it for all models the same, and all models that have that rule would have to be changed the same. Whereas the way we did it, which was to list it on their war scroll as an ability with a different name, even though it did the same damn thing, we can now change it for one model and not the others. And you go, yeah, okay, that's fair. But, I mean, edge case, mate. Edge case, really.
My phone's just died.
Yours as well?
Yeah, the CPU's overloaded and overheated.
Well, I've still got picture coming.
Yeah, I've just moved it.
Mine is charging back up, so I may attempt to reboot at some point. But, so, yes, the Death Guard may be an example of where GW are smarter than we give them credit for. But I would still push back.
But using that argument with the latest supplement thing that they've done, it's negated because they applied a de facto rule to one thing and then basically went, oh no, it doesn't work for the Astra Militarum that have that rule.
Well, this is the problem, isn't it? I was just about to say, I would push back at GW and say, I tell you what you could do, mate. You could try dropping half of these goddamn rules from your models in your game, so that actually the game gets out of the way. Oi, Ricky! Ricky's in! Ricky's in the chat! How we doing, mate? We've just been basically singing Games Workshop's praises. Now, don't faint, will you? You've missed David fanboying out massively to Games Workshop. Hey there, David.
Yeah, I'm here. You can go back and watch stream later.
I knew that your video's gone, so your phone has finally gone and died. We're both David and
I've managed to cool it down. I put it on the window for a bit.
Oh,
so...
I thought you chucked it in a bucket of water. So I was going to say that won't work.
Stop it! Don't be twisted and falling out now, you bastard.
So yeah, David and I are both having phone issues. Mine's gone flat. But that's yes, David is. He's become Games Workshop's biggest fan overnight. We want to know what's happened to David.
No, Ricky. I just have a rod on for Underworlds products.
Mate, have you seen the fucking time? I've barely built one of these warbands. I think I may have set my ambitions too high.
I'm on my second Skaven mini.
Shut up. Shut up. Oh my god. Ricky, he's building his models faster than me. Is that because I talk too much? Be polite.
No, it's because you're old and you can't see shit, and you're probably too busy trying not to cut your fingers.
You're not wrong about the second part, but my mega magnifiers mean I can see perfectly. Everybody who gets that Donald Pleasance reference, well done. You're as old as I am.
I'm having a break. I'm having some food.
He's eating. What the? My God! Talk about complacency. You see, this is for everybody who's new to the stream. This is not what we want to see. We do not want to see you sitting, snacking, and relaxing. We need to see you cracking on with the hobby and getting stuff done. Because it won't build and paint itself, will it?
No, but you know what will?
Go on, this will be good. So what will build and paint itself?
Paint itself, not so much.
So I was going to say, the answer to this question may determine what I next spend my money on. Because models that build and paint themselves...
Well, I know of something that builds itself, but you're going to hate me for even making the suggestion. Answers on a postcard, boys and girls.
I was going to say, builds itself? Are you making some sort of left-handed allusion to 3D printing?
Yes, I am.
You bellend.
It makes itself.
It also makes you a bellend.
No, it doesn't make me a bellend.
I beg to differ.
Dude, even you're pleased with the Star Scrappers sculpts. Do you know what I mean?
They are very nice, to be fair. Wayne was even trying to give me the... Wayne was trying... What are you looking forward to tomorrow, Ricky?
Is he off somewhere and he's not told me?
Tomorrow is Friday, so what's Ricky doing tomorrow?
That's for Ricky to know and us to find out, I guess. Okay, I have just found a stumbling point.
Yeah, Wayne was sort of trying to say 3D printing's not that bad last night when we were chatting on Discord. And it's like I said to him, it isn't that bad, I'm sure. But I think as a... He's getting firefight! Oh my god!
Everybody else is getting all the pretty things and you're sat there twiddling your thumbs.
I can't help being poor. Damn it. Well, Ricky, enjoy, mate. Enjoy. Oh, dear. thing is as well, that's really annoying because you're going to be like some mega hobby god and power through all of the bloody models. By this time next stream, you'll probably have them all painted.
Do you want to know the best thing?
I'll tell you what you should do, Ricky. And I know you're going to do it anyway. When you psycho out and paint an entire firefight starter set in a week, because you're mental, stick plenty of photos up in the Discord. I will download them and do a slideshow for everybody at home just to show them how mental you are. Because my God, can he get some work done?
That boy can paint. Can't he?
Yeah. It's quite annoying, actually. It's quite annoying how well he can get through stuff. Because he paints to a good standard as well. You know, it's... to be honest, I think in terms of speed painting, you're certainly a better speed painter than me, Ricky. When I'm really, really going for, quantity over quality, I really do. I cut every corner off. But your stuff looks crisp and clean and, well defined in terms of its colour palette and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's not fucking quick shaded within an inch of its life.
Well, I mean, thinking again, hands up. This is all very fair criticism. Thinking about my bolt action that I painted, it was very much like, okay, beige, and different shade of beige, and brown rifle stocks, and quick shade. Blah. And there we go, an entire army painted in 2 weeks. But yeah, tabletop standard, very much so. Very much so.
Are you happy with them? Very much so.
Oh yeah, I will take the criticism, but I will die on the hill. I only have so much time, and I want to get stuff out the door. Well, there we go, everybody. I have finished my first warband, and it's 20 minutes to go. I will attempt to restart my phone, but I don't think it's going to work. So, they just have to see them on fuzzy cam. There we go. We got random axe wielding ghost in Man from the Iron Man mask. Number 1. That's terrible. Nobody can see a damn thing. Okay, well, schoolboy error.
You noob. I love these rats. I love these rats.
I know. The models look amazing.
Oh, they're spiky as fuck though.
So,
they hurt.
Are you saying, Ricky, that you're going to use your colour shift on the... Is it Enforcers?
Look at that, Paul.
Oh, it looks so damn... Oh, that looks amazing.
Here's the one that I was complaining about earlier.
Oh, wow. I see what you mean. Yeah, that's a pretty sophisticated sculpt. But look at it. It looks absolutely stunning. I'm going to have to take this off here.
The other ones, not so much amazingly dynamic, but fuck me, still they've got some nice poses to them. They're not terrible. Oh, Ricky, WhatsApp me after stream's finished, and I'll send you the link to the magnets I use. I've got them here. Bought them from Amazon. They're the round ones. And I just stick them on the bases with a bit of milliput or green stuff and super glue. If that'll focus. Focus, you bitch. Focus. There we go.
Ooh, I've just made discovery.
What's that?
Okay,
Go on,
that is interesting. Damn it.
What is your discovery? Go on, share with the audience.
Right, first, I need to resist the urge to talk. Just bear me a second.
Finally, some peace and fucking quiet,
Am I now
boys and
getting...
girls.
Right, excellent. Sorry everybody, I imagine that echo was coming through to you, but I had audio enabled on my mini cam because I've just rebooted it after having the power died, and it's
Forgot about
it. When it reset, it turned the audio on, which obviously we normally run as off. But we now have miniature close-up cam back in the house. So
oh my
go.
god, Paul, you're going to get slightly aroused at this base. I'll show it you in a second.
So there we go. Briar Queen. Hanged Man. Come on, focus.
GW have really knocked it out the park with these bases.
Can't remember what the cage face guy is called, but this is the one that moves everybody else around. He's like the
drummer in the Drappers Wraith Creepers one. Look at this for a base. For a base, GW.
They are amazing. The thing is, actually, and I think it does need to... Here's guy with head underneath his arm. With his head tucked underneath his arm.
You're about to say something.
What I was about to say was, I think that these miniatures are getting better.
They are.
The Underworlds minis just get better with each iteration.
The only release I was a little bit about, like box set wise, was the one that had the Lumineth and the Dread Pageant in. The Dread Pageant excited me. The Lumineth really didn't.
So the Lumineth and the Dread Pageant.
Can't remember if that was Beastgrave or...
No, that was Diachasm, wasn't it?
I don't know. It was one or t'other.
I can't be sure. Well, there we go. I finished one warband, so I've managed to catch up to you.
No, you're not, because I'm 2 minis ahead of you, mate.
Right. Well, I'm going to start my smallest one then and see if I can
overtake.
I've got just over 10 minutes, so I don't think I'm going to get there. But, you know, we can go for it. So
You pick the easy ones. I've got the little spindly fucking Skaven that I'm having to support their hands in about 14 different places while I trim off sprue.
Yes. It's been quite nice to do something that's not painting for a change and still get stuff done.
Yeah, and again, it's one of these things that I just really fancy. So while we've got 10 minutes of stream left, shall we talk to the boys and girls at home about what our plans are for the coming week in hobby?
What are the plans for the coming week in hobby? Well, I'll be honest. My hobby is very much up in the air for next week. I don't really have any plans for club next week. I don't have a game planned. I'm sure something will turn up, but even if I end up playing a board game, which I'm, fine with, there are loads of people who at club who've got some cool board games. There was a group of people playing the Discworld board game last week.
I did see the posts on that.
And that looked pretty good. And bearing in mind, they were playing at maximum player count, which is 4. And they were playing all new players. Admittedly, they did have an experienced guy who owned the game, sort of like playing as 5th player referee, because he wasn't actually playing, but he was there telling them, making sure they didn't make any rule slip-ups and stuff like that. But they managed to get 2 games done in a session. which is pretty damn good, isn't it? For 4 maximum player count, all noobs. And it really sounds cool. To be fair, Daniel, who's the guy whose game it is, he was explaining that it sounds very much like Root, where each of the players has got a massive amount of asymmetry in terms of their game plan, which is obviously one of those unique selling points of Root, that each of the factions does something completely different. So it did sound very intriguing. So yes, mate. As I say, in terms of...
You don't really have any plans at the moment, then?
No,
Nothing
I don't.
concrete.
I tell you what I can do though, just before we leave, I can show everybody my hobby, my painting competition entry for last week, which was the...
Oh, you know what you can also do while you're doing that?
Yeah.
You could go to Discord and show people my painting competition entry that Ricky took a nice picture of for me.
Yeah, I could. It's going to be awkward though, because...
Yeah, but you can just go to Discord now, download it while I talk about my plans for the week.
Oh, okay.
And then you can add it to your fucking French Bulldog.
That's true.
Fucking genius.
Actually,
you just right click on the picture.
I've never tried to download a picture of Discord. Let's have a go. Because actually, I can do this because we're not using Discord for your video at the minute, are we?
Yes.
Let me... No, you talk... So what are your plans for next week then?
I am being a very busy bee between 4:30 tomorrow evening and when I go to work on Monday morning.
Oh my God.
Because I have 6 miniatures to print. Because I am playing Star Scrapper's Battle Drill for the first time. So I will be getting pictures. I will be showing off all the shinies, and I will probably be on a hobby high next Thursday. So me and Ricky are playing Star Scrappers. I'm printing off the Terrans, which are Wild West Gunslingers. And then I think Ricky wanted to play as the Metalnals, which are like a robot faction and look really fucking awesome. But I need to sort them out and get them ready and get like a list built. Terrain-wise, we're going to just play rather lacklusterly on the Infinity terrain that Club has, because it works, and we've got like a deserty mat. So that's the plan. Just to get it out the door, get some trials. I've already got several lads at club very hyped for it, which means that there's a distinct possibility that I'm going to end up with a shit ton of people excited to play a game that is just print and play. Can you hear me, Paul?
Yes, mate. I'm just doing the picture.
I did think about, and I just suddenly had a sudden thought of, has my microphone cut out and I'm talking to myself here and no one's realised? Or
no, you're fine. I'm just queuing up this.
25, 26, 27, 28. So yeah, that is another good talking point with the Star Scrappers stuff. So usually when I'm 3D printing stuff, I'm island checking. I've checked the Star Scrappers stuff. I've done 7 minis at the moment.
Yep.
Obviously all of them are in multiple parts. I've had to add like single island supports on about 8 of the minis, because obviously each one's broken down into at least 3 parts. Some of them are in like 15 parts.
That's pretty good.
That is really good, considering the standard of some of the stuff that I usually get on Punga and Patreon.
Because that was one of the things Wayne and I talked about, because I said, I don't know if you're sort of distorting my view of the hobby, because there's very little stuff that's sold as ready supported that you run without a ton of faffing, isn't there?
No, because I am anal AF about my screen and supporting stuff and making sure it will print and it will print first time.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, for me, time and reprinting shit is money.
Yeah. And you definitely think that it's worth the time it takes you to like resupport and do your island finding and all those other little tasks that you seem to be occupied with quite a lot when we get together.
Yeah, definitely for me, I think it's worth it. I mean, you only have to look at like Wayne at Club and Jack at Club, who also 3D print. They got less than 6 months out of an FEP sheet at the bottom of their resin vat. I got 18 months out of the same FEP sheet. Now, FEP sheets are cheap and they are between £3 and £5 a sheet, so it's not the end of the world. But if you've got a failure because you put a hole in it and then you leak resin all out on the inside of your printer and it makes a fucking lovely mess, you can kiss goodbye to having any sleep anytime soon while you take that shit off.
Yeah, I mean, again, you have made the decision that the time that's required to make the digital files as pristine as you can get them before they go anywhere near the printer is worth it. Whereas a lot of people just roll with it.
Yeah, they just say, oh, it's pre-supported. And I mean, you only have to look at the one experience I had with them trees that I did for Patrick's table.
Yes.
Where it's, oh, these are pre-supported. Opened the file, looked at the file and went, yeah, no, they're not really pre-supported, but I'll stick one on and see what happens. And it was just a fucking hot mess. It's like, yeah, no, they need redoing because they're bullshit.
So essentially, your behaviour has been informed by experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. So, okay, we're queued up. So here is one of David's 2 models which he entered for the painting competition. The subject was...
sized.
What was it? What was the title?
Pint-sized.
Pint-sized, yes, well done. Old brain. So this is Punga Miniatures again, isn't it? These are the support crew for the Blood Bowl TM.
Yeah,
the American-style football fantasy game that David printed for a paint competition last month or the month before?
Month before.
So we've got the chef with his tentacle. The garlic looked cool, by the way. I haven't seen this before now.
Have you not?
No. That looks very good. I like the ginger hair as well. It does a really good job on that.
The t-shirt on that, I did burnt red, and then I just gradually mixed in some more red leather to make it like a worn leather effect.
Carry on. We've just lost the slideshow because I pressed the wrong button because I was looking at the screen, not my keyboard. So let me just go back to OBS. Right, we've rescued it. I think
but
we've rescued
I did the shirt with burnt red and then added more and more red leather to it to make it like an earthy brown.
Okay.
His trousers I did just a brown colour, and then obviously his chef's whites and the raw tentacle that's like an ocean blue green, and then a wash of purple over a light blue green on the suckers.
That's worked really well, by the way. That tentacle, the suckers, the purple suckers, works really well.
And then the second mini I did was a referee.
The second was the referee. That sandwich looks amazing.
The sub that's nearly as big as the halfling.
The colours that you've picked for that filling are absolutely bang on the money. That the ham and cheese.
Well, the ham is brown rose that you've got on your way up to you.
Okay, that looks like a very cool colour.
The lettuce, I think, was like an olivey green.
Okay.
And then I mixed some green sky in as a highlight colour.
Yep.
And then the Emmental cheese was scrofulous brown, and then scrofulous brown mixed with one of the yellows that I have.
The scrofulous GW standard paint, or is it a contrast?
It's a Vallejo game colour.
Oh.
I bought it for doing my Infinity.
Right. Not interesting colour. I do like it. It's got
It's like a
overtones
yellowy
of
brown, an ochre.
yes. It's got overtones of gold brown from the model colour one. Model colour range. I don't know if they are the same colour, but they look like they could be similar. Maybe that one's a touch more yellow, more intense.
Yeah, I think it is. So that was my painting comp. I primed them obviously last Thursday. Threw a little bit of base coat down over them while I was down the caravan, with the skin and stuff, and then finished them off on Sunday evening and Monday.
If I scroll quickly through my Assassin's Creed miniatures again, this was my entry. Another of my little dogs from Dungeons and Doggos. Just a quick and dirty paint job. I'm not entirely happy with the face. I think I need to take the grey highlights up one more level so that the face is more readable. But I'm happy with everything else. The white strapping and that worked really well. The potion bottles look great. The gold on the ankle cuffs is probably a little bit over the top, but you know, it needs an accent of. I don't think it's too much, and it is a tiny, tiny miniature. So yeah, that was what I did for pint-sized.
This month's comp theme is objectively objective.
Yes, it is. Any ideas on what we're gonna do? You've already got a plan, haven't you? Because you're doing something from this new battle drill game, aren't you?
The Hexis Cache, so the objective that you fight over in the middle of the table.
Okay, that's genius. What am I going to do? Haven't got a bleeding clue. I'll find something.
Frostgrave stuff?
Yeah, we did talk about obviously I've got a lot of the North Star Frostgrave objective tokens, so something like that's definitely going to be on the cards, I should think. Unless inspiration hits me and I think of something way better to paint. Let's put it that way. While we're just before we say goodbye to everyone, you've got to tell me who put the epic stuff into the paint comp.
Who do you think put the epic stuff into the paint comp?
I'm trying to think who would own epic.
Right, if I tell you people who entered...
Yes.
And then we can go from there.
Yes.
So Ricky, me, which you know my entry, Jack.
Yes.
Dan.
Yes.
DW. And I can't remember the final one.
I would say it's either Dan or DW.
No, you can't go with 2, 1. Pick one.
Let me see what else is in the comp. It's got to be DW then.
Yeah, it is DW.
They're really good. Well, that's genius. I'm glad I didn't go with epic models now, because that would have been a damp squib. Because he put in loads of them, and they would have been way better than mine. So.
What was the other thing I was about to say to boys and girls? Oh, I remember what I was about to say, boys and girls at home. Have a look at this. If I can get him to be focused. Look at him. Look at him. He's so good.
How many Skaven do you get? Because the other one's 7 man, I think. The
5.
5. And actually, Spice Claw Swarm might only be 5. So it's probably the same model count. They do look amazing. Now, they're all dressed a bit ninja style, those, aren't they? Because Spike Claw Swarm is not. They're dressed in armour and stuff, so...
Yeah, these are all a bit ninja-y because they're Eshin, but...
That's not a bad thing.
No.
Not a bad thing at all.
So yeah, I think all in all, we're gonna have a good week's hobby this week. Well, I've got to have a good week's hobby because, like I say, I've got like 6 minis to print by Monday. Now, luckily, they're all mainly like 2 or 3 parts, so there's not much assembly to do, but the point still stands of I've got to get them on the printer and get them printed.
So how many miniatures have you got to do for next week?
6 for Monday.
Holy crap. Yeah, I was forgetting it's Thursday already, isn't it?
Yes.
You can, yeah, but isn't that one bed, or are they pretty big, beefy boys?
No, they're
things?
pretty big, beefy boys because they're on 60mm bases and they're printing the bases flat.
Well, I know what you're doing this weekend then.
Running backwards and forwards between the printer and my bedroom.
Yep. Have you got any hobby projects that you want to get done next week?
Not off the top of my head, actually. I got this nether maze to get on with. I've got, obviously, star scrappers as well to start painting. Project-wise, I'm on a bit of a lull at the moment.
So
because
I'm the same.
I've got... Again, I've got all this shit to finish as well.
Yeah, I was just thinking that one of the good things about building all these minis is that they might be stuff to just work on.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's the thing for me. I wanted something different. I wanted to do some building. I wanted to do some painting. The thing is, as well, I'm looking forward to this nether maze. I'm looking forward as well to not having rules light, like is in the starter set for Underworlds. I'm actually looking forward to having a full fat version of the rules to refer to.
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean. Instead of a slimmed down rule book that's only got half of it in it.
That, and I think these are going to be beautiful to airbrush.
What, those?
Skaven and the Shadowborn.
Okay, I'll be interested to see what you do with that, to be fair. I want to get your input, and we'll do this on stream rather than me ask you later, because then everybody at home can get to play this game. Have you got your Assassin's Creed's fast travel station handy?
Yes. This bad boy?
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to see.
Which is medium grey, but let's not get into the shades of grey discussion.
Okay, so I've got mine here. Now then, so what you've got there is Vallejo medium grey. He's gone away with it. You've got Vallejo medium grey that you've just done everything with.
Yep.
Okay.
And
bring
then
bring that up again. Okay. Because obviously I am going to try and stick to the speed paint thing. Have you painted the gate yet or not? And the roof?
No.
Okay, so...
No.
It's almost this. So, here's my speed paints. I'm going to put them here in front of my
Hang on. Let me get one that's base coated without any wash on.
Well, I've got one. Okay. So that's what it looks like before you null and oil it. Okay, let's transition to this for everybody at home. So this is what I'm thinking, mate. This colour for the stonework.
I've got to wait a second because stream lag.
3, 2, 1. You're back.
There we go. Right.
So I'm thinking this for the stonework.
That brown colour.
This for the dome.
Like the verdigris colour.
Yes. And then maybe put Agrax or something onto it to make it a bit less in your face and a bit more grimy. Or null. What do you think?
I'm just thinking, and you might shoot me.
Do you want me to bring... Shall I bring my entire selection of speed paints in?
I'm thinking you should null it before you put any speed paint on it.
So the null oil is underneath the speed paint.
And in the recesses.
Okay.
Then dry brush with white, because you don't care that it's going chalky.
Yeah.
Because you're putting a contrast over the top of it.
Yes.
No, that brown you've got is definitely the best one.
Yeah, there's nothing better there, is there? Everything else, there's too orange. I mean, that's too intense and yellow. That's too green.
Yeah, and the same with your verdigris colour. You've gone for the best verdigris colour, I think.
mean, that might work. But for me, it's a bit too green, not enough blue for this.
The only other thing you could do, rather than doing a verdigris roof, is you could do like a lead flashing roof. With that black.
Or the grey, that.
Yeah.
Just do or even a lighter, that one.
Yeah, and just dry brush a little bit of metallic underneath it. That's the thing.
These are going to be really quick, aren't they?
Yeah, they should be.
I think. So you think this plan, but you suggest putting what, null oil or Agrax? Null oil?
Null. It'll give you the most contrast if you're doing it before you're going to put contrast over it.
And would you do it on the whole thing, or just the roof, or what?
I'd null the entire lot. This is just me speaking from experience. I would null the entire lot. Get it all to the same level that you're happy with, where it's sat in all the recesses and everything else.
Yeah.
Dry brush your white until you're happy with the highlights. Bear in mind that it's going to look chalky, and also it's going to be quite odd because you try to highlight monochrome. You're doing black and washing up to white.
Yes.
So that might take a bit of getting your head round. But when you're happy with it, just daub it in fucking the speed paint.
Just daub the speed paint on.
Because again, and this is the reason I'm going to go with. This is the reason why I'm suggesting dry brush underneath to begin with.
Yeah, why underneath? This intrigues me. Let me go back to so people at home can see. So that's a model that you've done. Yeah.
My orc, that is Archelian green contrast over. So it was a black prime.
Yes.
With gunmetal dry brush.
Yes.
Then steel.
Yes.
Then silver. To give me my layers of highlighting.
Yes.
2 coats of Archelian green that were thinned with medium, just to make it go on a bit smoother.
Yeah.
Over the top.
Yeah.
That's it. But with that, if I'm big on screen, you get all them highlights and nuances between the dark and the light with dry brushing it that way before you put the contrast over it.
Yep.
The other thing is, don't forget those speed paints in particular have reactivation. If you daub that with null oil afterwards, are you going to end up with a disaster?
That's fair. That is very fair. And was a factor I hadn't considered, but now you've said it, that may be one of the best reasons for doing the shade step first.
Because you've even said like the brown you used reactivated, didn't it?
Yes.
Was it that brown that you are planning on using?
No, it wasn't. It was hardened leather.
No, that's fine.
And also, to be fair, Slaughter Red actually reactivated as well. Okay. Because you think without doing the null oil step, what you're saying is there's a chance that we won't bring out the details as sharply as we want to.
Yeah, at the moment, because you've zenithalled.
Yes.
You've got, just pull, if you pull it up on screen.
Let me just move all my crap.
You've got because the details aren't particularly embossed in them either.
No, they are very soft details, these being PVC.
You only... Well, no, I think these are hard plastic, but still, the point stands. Because I'll just bring up mine on screen, because obviously I've slapped null all over mine, so you know kind of where you're going to end up with this. It's not really pulled in the details that I want to pull out, but it's pulled in the pillars where there's lots of texture. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, right. So it hasn't done the brickwork quite how you wanted it, but the pillars look great.
Yeah, the pillars look awesome. Like you say, the brickwork, not amazing. And if you do that pre-highlighting and pre-putting your paint on, you're in control. You could gloss varnish that if you wanted, and pin wash it if you wanted to just do it.
Yeah, but we're doing it. The whole point is they're board game pieces, and we're doing a speed paint, so that seems. I do know what you're saying, and yes, pin washing all of that brickwork would definitely be the way to go, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
If you were going for like the best look you could possibly get, but obviously it's working against what I'm trying to achieve with this project, which is get a massive 200 model board game painted as quickly as possible. I'm trying to emulate Ricky levels of insanity.
Are you sleeping anytime soon then?
I better not. There's no way I'm going to achieve it if I do.
But yeah, that's the reason I'd suggest doing it the way I've recommended.
Well, the thing is, I don't know as I want to do an experiment where I do it that way and then do it without, because I want them to look the same. I don't want any. Then again, does it matter if they look the same? Do you know what? Sod it. I'll do an experiment. I shall null oil one of them, and then I shall just speed paint the other. And I'll see what the difference is, and I'll stick some pics up, probably on our Instagram or Facebook, and we'll see what your undershading does. And then the one I haven't shaded, I'll probably put some null oil on top, and we'll see if it works or whether it reactivates and goes crappy. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Little experiment.
Again, what you're doing there by doing it my way as well.
Yep.
Is doing my version of speed painting, which isn't necessarily the speediest.
No.
But it will give you a result, and I think it will look better. Well, I've apparently turned fucking portrait. I don't know why, but
you're still looking good on OBS, mate. Oh no, you're not. You are. Yes, you have gone weird.
Just flip portrait. Don't know why.
And now you've gone completely. This might be a good time to stop, as David has now vanished. David's left us prematurely.
And it's 10:20.
It is. We've considerably overrun with this little show. Thank you very much for being in the chat, Ricky and Tim. Anybody who's watching us afterwards, thank you very much for your time and your attention. I hope you find this entertaining. I hope you can put it on when you're doing some hobby and getting some work done, and our inane blathering doesn't drive you too balmy. If you can find the time to like, share, subscribe, all the stuff that feeds the YouTube algorithm. If you can only find time to do one of them, just do one of them. That would anything would help amazingly.
Comments and feedback are always appreciated.
Comments in the under the video, we will definitely review them and be getting back to anybody who posts. And you know, whatever you want to tell us or anything you want to say to us, we're glad to hear it. So that's good night from me, and I'll see you next week. And same for you, David, I assume.
Yeah. Have a good one, boys and girls, and everyone. Get some hobby done this week.
Definitely. Don't be like us and procrastinate.
That pile of shame's